In the heart of our city lies a place few dare to tread, a place where the past refuses to rest. We call it Old Town. Its cobblestone streets and centuries-old buildings have witnessed more than a fair share of history, and with history comes the residue of the departed, the lingering spirits, the forgotten souls. As a skeptic, I never paid much attention to tales of the supernatural. Ghosts, I believed, were the stuff of fiction and overactive imaginations. That was until I found myself alone in Old Town one fateful night, and my skepticism was shattered by the chilling reality of the unknown. The night began like any other. I was out with friends, enjoying the lively ambiance of the city's bars and restaurants. But as the hour grew late, my companions decided to call it a night, leaving me to wander the deserted streets of Old Town alone. The darkness crept in swiftly, swallowing the alleys and cloaking the cobblestones in obscurity. The old street lamps emitted feeble, flickering light, casting eerie, elongated shadows that seemed to dance with every gust of wind. As I walked, a feeling of unease washed over me, a nagging sensation that I was not alone. I tried to dismiss it as mere paranoia, but the feeling persisted, intensifying with every step. The air grew heavy, and the temperature seemed to drop, even for a cool autumn night. It was then that I heard it, a faint, mournful wail that sent shivers down my spine. I froze in my tracks, straining to locate the source of the sound. It was like nothing I had ever heard before, a haunting melody that seemed to rise from the very stones beneath my feet. As I continued to walk, the wail grew louder, closer. It felt as though a presence walked beside me, unseen but undeniably there. Panic welled up inside me, and I quickened my pace, desperate to escape the haunting sound. But the more I hurried, the more insistent it became. It was as though the spirits of Old Town were beckoning me, their ghostly voices filling the night with sorrow and longing. I couldn't resist their call, and soon I found myself standing before a dilapidated building, a relic from another era. The building's windows were shattered, its walls crumbling, and the entrance lay ajar as if inviting me inside. I knew I should have turned away, but an irresistible force drew me closer. With trepidation, I crossed the threshold into the darkness beyond. The interior of the building was a world frozen in time, a forgotten apothecary shop, its shelves lined with dusty jars and faded labels. The air was thick with the scent of herbs and tinctures, and the room was lit by an eerie, spectral glow. As I explored further, I stumbled upon an old ledger, a record of remedies and elixirs, penned by a hand long since turned to dust. It was then that I heard a whisper, a soft, ethereal voice that seemed to emanate from the very pages of the ledger. The voice told tales of the apothecary who had once owned this shop, a man known for his skill in curing ailments of the body and soul. But as I listened, the voice grew darker, recounting a tragic tale of a love lost and a life cut short by a terrible accident. Suddenly, a presence materialized before me, an apparition of the apothecary himself, his face etched with sorrow and regret. He reached out to me, his spectral hand passing through mine, and I felt a rush of emotions, his longing, his despair, and his yearning for closure. I fled the apothecary shop, my heart pounding in my chest. The wail that had haunted me had subsided, and the night had returned to its normal, silent state. But I couldn't forget the encounter, the undeniable proof that the supernatural was real. From that night on, I became a believer, a seeker of the unknown, a witness to the ghosts of Old Town. The city's streets, once ordinary, had become a realm of mystery and darkness, where the past and present intertwined in haunting harmony. Old Town held its secrets close, and I had glimpsed but a fraction of its spectral tapestry. I knew that more mysteries awaited in the shadows, and I was determined to uncover them, one chilling encounter at a time.